All right. Hello, everyone. I am Jerry Pope, and it's my podcast, JPJ and Friends. So, today I want to get into a heavy topic: miscarriage. Me and my wife were talking recently, and there aren't many, if any, podcasts, YouTube videos, anything of that nature that speaks to miscarriage and how men handle it. Because when you think of miscarriage, most of the time it's the women who are all constantly checked on. Nobody checks on the man. Nobody asks him how he feels. It's almost safe to say that most of the time people don't care. So recently, like just last week, me and my wife dealt with miscarriage. We were excitedly broken the news that she was pregnant. Doctor said about 8 weeks. So needless to say, we were ecstatic. And after doing a number of blood tests, different things of that nature, we found out Friday that she miscarried. Um, Coming from a man's perspective, it's hard to deal with. It's very hard to deal with. It takes a toll on you mentally. It makes you question yourself as a man. Was it something that I didn't do, or was there a way for me to help prevent it? There's a number of different things that go on in your mind, but it's a natural thing and it happens more than people realize. Dealing with miscarriage and trying to remain strong for your wife, trying to keep your whole mental state of mind together, um, it's rough. Why is there no support group or just a group of people in general that help men get through this particular issue? Um, it took a lot for me to want to sit and discuss this. It took me some time, over the weekend. I had my chance to grieve as much as possible, try to keep a level head, still checking in on my wife, make sure she's okay. Um, and I thank God that she's been checking on me because everybody checks on her. Nobody once ever thought to ask me how I felt. They may ask her how I feel, but didn't come directly to me. So I figured what way to start off my podcast with this topic. I can say that I have struggled ever since then, since Friday. It's what, Monday? So pretty much all weekend, I've struggled. I've cried. I've vented my frustrations. I prayed. Um, I can say that it hasn't been an easy process. Took a lot out of me. Um, One thing it did do was bring me and my wife closer together. And I thank God for that. But honestly, nobody tells you how to deal with miscarriage. As a man, you're supposed to suck it up, swallow it, and you just move on. It's hard to move on when the one thing you desire the most, you can't have. Not to say it can't ever happen, but that's how it feels. It feels like it's right there and you can't have it. I'm 43 years old, no children. Second marriage, first marriage, um, we couldn't have kids, couldn't have them at all. And that, I can say that was one of the contributing factors that drove a wedge between the two of us. We never recovered from it, never discussed it, never tried to work through it. And then things just kind of went left from there. And at one point, I had given up on trying to have kids. Um, my current wife, she told me that don't give up too soon. Because I came, like when they told us the news that we were expecting a baby, I cried because the one thing that I desired most in this world was actually going to happen. I had signed up for every baby app, stores. I had created a registry. I've done all of it and did it out of excitement. And then to only feel like it all got snatched from me, to now almost question whether or not I want to have kids. But then to have a conversation with my wife was like, don't give up. I've had so many people encourage me, and it was like, okay, try it again. And I try to take that positive momentum that everybody was giving me and try to relay that to my wife that although it's difficult now, we have to keep trying. We have to try again. Um, Honestly, miscarriage hurts. It hurts a lot. Like it hurts a whole lot because now you have to grieve your unborn child. Not an easy thing to do. And grief is hard when you're trying to be the strong one and not show that you're emotionally broken on the inside. It it's a day by day process, but I thank God that I have, just it's a small group of like core people that I depend on that have checked on me every day, that have encouraged me, prayed for me, prayed for my wife. Um, it's good to have that sense of community with people that you can actually depend on. So having gone through this and still going through it, um, it has brought me and my wife much closer together because we grieve together, we pray together, we depend on each other, we check in with each other. But I wanted to start my podcast off this year with this subject because I'm currently dealing with it. So I wonder how many other people are dealing with it. I want to try to tackle a lot of issues from a male's perspective, the perspective that nobody actually asked about. So doing this podcast is going to be a lot more structured as I go along. Um, there will be opportunities where I go live and have people, kind of ask questions or join in. There will be other people that I interview. We'll talk about a wide range of different topics. But I had to start off with this. So when you are expecting a child, you get a number of different booklets and there's videos to watch on what to expect. There's no pamphlet or video on how to handle a miscarriage. Nobody talks about it. If they talk about it, it's mostly the women talking about it. Men don't talk about how they feel. I'm not that kind of dude. Like, I'm going to express my feelings. This podcast will get deep sometimes. Some subjects will be lighthearted. Some of them will be heavy like this. but I will not allow my voice or this platform to be silent when it comes to issues that men suffer with in silence. So it will be more on the subject of miscarriage. There will be, you know, follow up episodes pertaining to coping and finding new ways to deal with loss. I debated on whether I wanted to talk about this because it's not an easy subject. Being this vulnerable, talking about miscarriage and grief, it's not something that most men talk about. And we have to stop allowing society to tell us how to feel as men. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to feel or what I'm not supposed to share or how I'm not supposed to feel when I'm hurt or disappointed or sad or that whole notion of men don't cry straight crap. Like, I'm sorry, the first man that I've ever seen cry in my life was my father. And he told me it was okay to cry because it doesn't make you less of a man. I don't know who developed that mind frame, telling little boys, don't cry, don't be a punk. No, because then you raise heartless men. Now, I can't tell nobody how to raise their child. That's on you. But as for me, I don't care how you view me because crying makes me stronger. Because holding it in only does one thing, make you angry, and you're going to lash out one way or the other, whether it be harshly through words, violence, abusing alcohol, drugs. Suppressing all that stuff does nothing for nobody. If you think crying makes you weak, cool, whatever. You call me what you want. But being able to feel your emotions makes you a man because your feelings and your thoughts are valid. The pain you feel is valid. If you think it's only cool to cry at a funeral, do you? See, one thing about miscarriage, unless your child is stillborn, you can't hold a funeral because you don't actually have remains to bury. And that's something that you have to sit and deal with because it ain't like you can just pull up to a grave site. That's something you deal with within your heart on a regular basis. Um, who knows? I may start a a group for men who deal with miscarriage. We need some form of support group because we have nothing. One thing I want to say before I kind of wrap this up is for me, being a father would means that I have completed over half of the things I want to accomplish in my life. The other half is basically what I'm going to school for now, audio production. So to be a music producer would complete at least 90% of that. Being a homeowner and having investment properties would be another thing. But being a father to a child that I help create will be the biggest flex for me. I ain't worried about money, cars, all of that. The biggest flex is being a father, being there for your child, support through whatever activities, be active in their lives, be at every school event, meeting, whatever. Be active in the educational process. That's what would complete me. So be on the lookout for more episodes. Uh, Me and my wife are also going to touch on this subject because we're going to have a podcast also. We're going to have uh, a YouTube vlog page when we, start traveling and go to different places. This is our year to structure and build a better life. More than likely, we'll touch on like love and finances. So yeah, there's um there's a lot more coming. But JPJ and Friends is going to be, I would say I probably do a show every 2 weeks. But I hope that you have watched it thus far. You can comment on the video, share it, um, like it. Once I get the YouTube up and running, subscribe. But I appreciate y'all time. I'm always available on social media. Same name you see here, Jerry Pope Jr. Facebook, JP Beats 81. Instagram. But I appreciate y'all time. And if you have any topic ideas, I'm open to them. So until next time, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm sorry it was so heavy, but I had to do it. So till next time.